Hello, everyone, and welcome back to FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm Taneol, and today we're stepping into a world that quietly shapes the success, stability, and capability of every organization, the world of human resources. Not the HR you see in movies, not the HR you associate with forms and policies. We're talking about HR as a strategic engine, the place where culture is built, leaders are shaped, conflict is solved, and talent grows. And our guest today is someone who has spent nearly 3 decades proving that HR is not just a function, it is a force. Today, we are joined by Mr. Hemant H. Bahura, a seasoned HR professional with 28 years across heavy engineering, automotive, shipbuilding, LNG, hydrocarbon, and gas industries, leading everything from talent management to industrial relations, from L&D to CSR, from policy formulation to organization development. From building the iconic LNG Academy in Kochi to reducing attrition from 36% to 6%, from winning CII and Green Tech Awards to driving HR transformation across plant and corporate levels to leading HR for L&T Hydrocarbons modular fabrication business. His journey is a blueprint in how HR builds capability, culture, and credibility. He's the founder of HHB Consulting, a strategic HR advisory and a respected people leader known for simplifying complexities and elevating organizations. Sir, it is a pleasure to have you with us on FaceTime with Leaders today. How are you?
Hi, good morning, first of all. And it's my pleasure to be associated with this great institution. And I really appreciate the way in which it is organized. And let me start with a brief about myself. You already explained. But just to give you the background about my journey, starting with qualifications and the professional journey startup.
Yeah.
Uh, I born and brought up in Surat, and then I was a university ranker. So through campus, I got selected in L&D. It was way back in '92, and that time HR is just growing, and that time trend was a marketing. But yes, being a people man, I decided to the call that yes, this is my cup of tea, and I joined, and finally it proved right. At this stage, I'm really fulfilled with that decision. And when I joined L&T initially, that time it was a barren land, and we were in a very challenging mode basically. And that time there is a lot of scarcity of skilled manpower, but we have taken a mission that yes, we make sure that we convert this barren land into Dronacharya's ashram or a skill hub for the country, and finally we succeeded in that. And you can see, I can show you the picture that it is on the bank of River Tapti where it meets the sea. And when you see initial that place, you feel that, oh, this is a muddy land, how we can make such a very big industrial hub and infrastructure kind of a thing. But it's a real vision of Mr. Hemant H. That time he was heading the heavy engineering business, or I can say that time it was called as a Group 2 Unit Engineering. UE means it's a process equipment for all these core industries. And finally, we visited all these schools, and then we built skilled manpower through our in-house training. That is how we started a humble journey.
Yeah, that's lovely, sir. I think you just answered my first question that you've done so much, but what was the journey like for you in the beginning? And thank you so much for answering that for us. Anything else you would like to add to that, sir?
Yeah, in fact, we used to sit in a very hut kind of office because it was a go down kind of a thing. It was anywhere wherever we develop a greenfield project. So initially, either you sit into the container kind of office or makeshift arrangement kind of office, and then gradually as the project grows up and slowly workshop takes place, then office place takes up, and then you shift into that. But it's a really learning, I can say, because initial I believe that 5 to 6 years of the career, that is very important to shape your journey, to shape your mindset, to build your thought process and all. And that really helps, or I can say it is a route for your future developmental growth in the uh, organization or in your personal and professional journey.
Yeah, 100%. Your initial steps go a long way in teaching you what you'll face in the future.
Yes, yes.
So you worked across plant HR, corporate HR, L&D, IR, CSR, and OD, and each environment demands a different muscle. But one achievement of yours has almost become legendary, which is reducing employee turnover from 36% to 6%. In a country where attrition is one of the biggest organizational challenges, if you had to break it down for us like a story, like how do you actually fix attrition on the ground in a real engineering environment with real people, real supervisors, and real pressures? What are the key decisions that go into stabilizing a workflows and rebuilding trust?
Yeah, it's all depends actually where you operate and how you operate. And normally, well, it's a belief that HR professionals work from the offices and they are not going to the workplace, or you can say go to Gamba. But I'm a different HR professional. I never believe in working from the office. I believe that go to Gamba, talk to people, see the situation, have a feel of the situation, and you realize the environment, how it is. Suppose if you are there in a place of employee, how you feel and how you get motivated, what needs to be done. So keeping that thing in mind, it was, I think, I'll not name the organization's name, but yes, it's a very big organization, automotive giant, and not in India, it's in abroad. So it's a more challenging assignment for me that time initially because uh, we recruit people from across the country, from metros and very good families, and then once they land that new place and after joining they are placed in a very remote place where nothing is there for entertainment or for relaxing kind of a thing, and then gradually they create emergencies, artificial you can say emergencies, that mother is sick, father is sick, or somebody family, some family member is sick, and then they fly away and that's it. So when initially it was addressed to me by director of the company, I told very upfront to him that, sir, I'm a different HR professional. I would like to go and see, visit all the places because we had more than 80 branches across the country, and in different other nations, neighboring nations also, we had branches. So I made a call that yes, first I will see all these places, then I will submit my report. And I prepared a report and submitted. And normally it takes 1 week to 15 days time, but to my surprise, within 3 days I got approval. And then I thought, yes, this organization is prepared for change, and they allowed me to implement all these things. And during this implementation journey, and they liked this, and they said, "Would you like to add anything?" And then I added few things based on the experience of the implementation, and finally, it turned around like surprisingly. And then even branch managers used to say that, "Please shift us into this bachelor accommodation." So he said, "You send your family back to India, then definitely you can be." So uh, we have taken care from beginning. In the sense, the
Yeah.
person lands in the country, then go to his accommodation, then go to the workplace, then colleagues, then offices, then relaxation areas, recreation areas, and all. So it's you can say micro planning with micromanagement and micro implementation and freedom to implement and
Yeah.
empowerment, authority, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And most important word I can say into inverted comma is trust, and that really helped. And I'm really happy that even one of the project they were able to complete after 5 years. That time I was not there, so they sent me the photographs and all these things. So I really appreciate that. Yes, they have really implemented in 100% way, the way in which I dreamed actually.
Yeah, and like you said, a very big part of that was probably going in there and understanding people, their problems,
Yes,
what is at the
yes,
grassroots level. So trust builds both ways.
yes. Actually, we keep telling that you put yourself into other person's shoes, but we always forget to remove our shoes first. Unless and until we will not remove our shoes, we will not feel the pain of that shoes actually.
Very well said, sir. So one of your signature contributions is building the LNG Academy, a capability ecosystem that didn't exist before. If you had to narrate it like a story, what does it take to build an institution from scratch? Like what were the uncertainties, the resistance, the small wins, and the big breakthroughs that shaped its journey?
Yeah, in fact, this journey started long back around 2007. And when I joined that organization, it was the development phase, and the capacity was 5 million ton. And today it has 22.5 million ton. It is one of the biggest, world's biggest regasification facilities in Gujarat, the H. And uh, gradually it was developed. I was there for almost 10 years. And then we started another terminal at Kochi, Kerala. And there, due to lack of infrastructure, particularly pipeline connectivity facilities, so we are suffering a huge loss. And when new MD joined to charge of this organization, we decided to let's set up. academy because we are the pioneer in this field in the country, and it's our moral duty because many players are entering. So one of the selfish interests is that to avoid poaching the talent, we said we help them to build their own talent actually. So likewise, we help them, and not only that, we generated profit also through that. And after 1.5 year, almost, the Kochi terminal started making profit, and it was a very tough journey. In fact, when I around 2007 March, 17 March, when I landed there, I saw the project was conceptualized 2.5 years before, but nothing was there. So I was worried whether it will take place within 1 or 2 years' time or not. But yes, again, it is the trust and confidence from the top management and free hand to me. And I started working on that. I started discussing with my team members, first of all, then the plant heads, then the contractors who are executing this thing, then visiting the sites and all. And then we had a joint meeting that let us plan out fairly that start from zero now, where to go, how to go, and how much time it will take. So finally, it was decided that maybe it will be completed within 1.5 years' time. But again, daily meetings, then weekly meetings with corporates and all. Uh, to my surprise, less than a year's time is March 18, we launched the academy. And it was very successful. It was very well received and recognized globally, not only in India. One of the biggest, world's biggest institute, Gas Technology Institute, GTI, they came to know about this thing and they offered partnership with us. They said we are ready to say candidate here and we can have a joint programs kind of a thing. Then that time our and technical advisor partners and they have equity into a company also. Gas de France, it's a French government company now. It is NG. So they also came to know about this thing and they were also ready to offer us the modules as well as faculties. Then Petronas Malaysian, they have a training division called Petronet H. They also ready to sign up a contract with us with regard to various modules and facilities and exchange of the programs, kind of a thing. And today I can see, even you can also see on Petronet's social media sites and all, they are conducting programs for various big, even I can say promoters companies also, ONGC, DPC. Really happy that what was conceptualized and the way in which it is executed and it is sustaining. In today's world, yes, whatever development you do, but it all depends that how you plan, how you execute, keeping sustainability in the mind, because it should sustain for a long time. And it will help for the growth of the country's economy because now country is also focusing on gas-based economy. So how to facilitate that infrastructure development in the country. And when the infrastructure is ready, then you need a people basically. You need a people's man. You need a people who are capable of handling this infrastructure, managing the infrastructure. Because once is you create the infrastructure again, difficult part is how to maintain it. And to maintain this, you need a professionals. So I'm really happy that we are helping this energy sector to sustain this growth.
So, HR in engineering heavy industries is not easy. Shipyards, LNG terminals, fabrication sites, EPC projects. For the young HR professionals listening today, what does it really take to build trust with unions, contract workers, and plant teams? And what separates a good HR leader from a great one?
Question actually for today's generations, basically, say you have to first settle down the dust within yourself. That is first part. Because being a young professional, a lot of bubbling energies is there. So first, you cool down and calm yourselves and think positively what you want to do, how you want to do. There are a lot of challenges, but don't get caught up by these challenges. Just think over it. And as you mentioned, particularly engineering and shipbuilding industry, heavy engineering industries. As I mentioned earlier, we are setting up a infrastructure where it is a barren land kind of a thing. But again, once you establish there, not only as a industrialist or as a professional, but as an HR professional, you need to connect with the surrounding community also. So what we did is that we have first trained the surrounding youth village boys that how to face interview. We prepared them for that. Then we conducted the interview. We selected boys and we uh, created batches for particular villages, and we used to monitor on a monthly basis. And whenever there is an issue, we not only writing letter because these boys are either 10th pass or ITI pass, so not matured enough. So we used to get in touch with their parents, not only parents, but we used to get in touch with the sarpanch mukhya of the head of the village, and we used to communicate. And we used to visit to sarpanches or head of the village and keep them track also that see this is the progress of this student or village boy. So at times when fine if he's improving and learning we are helping, but if he's not improving finally he used to say okay if you want to remove, otherwise we have no problem. But to very positive note side, we were able to absorb 98% boys from these villages. So it's a big achievement. My target was that time given by management was 90%. So I'm also very happy with that. And more importantly, that whenever there is a need from the community side also, uh, sometimes it's political, sometimes it is selfish personal interest, but genuinely you evaluate the need also. That is it a real, genuine community need? And if it is a genuine need, you sincerely work on that, help them, and create that kind of trust and relationship so that at least in future, whenever there is an issue, they can really help. Even we faced that time longest strike also. But we got a support from all the surrounding villages, and they said, okay, fine. If you want to close down, but yes, we are with the management, we will not support the unions. Okay. So what I experienced and what I felt is that if your HR is good, you have less IR issues. And ultimately, union leaders are also human beings. They also understand. Fine, because of their positions, they create some issues here and there, but fine. If you made them very clear, and most importantly, your communication is very transparent, then you have relationships. You maintain transparency in communication, and sometimes you have to talk in their regional languages also. They feel more confident, they will feel more connected with you. And they feel also, yes, we are a part of the management, and they really feel that, okay, yes, we are sailing together in the same boat. And
Yeah,
that really helps. And
very true.
shipbuilding also, it is a very challenging, but now it is a growing field, and I'm really happy that countries also building own infrastructure for manufacturing this country's own needs. So I'm really happy that yes, across the country now this thing is taking place.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot about providing opportunities in your field where you create that opportunity for someone who otherwise wouldn't have it. Okay, so now time for a rapid fire round. A few quick questions, and all we request you are quick answers. So, are you ready? One morning ritual you never skip, no matter how busy life gets.
Prayer and meditation.
Okay. After a long day of HR firefighting, what's your ultimate comfort food?
Uh, Born and brought up in Surat, Gujarat, so khichdi kadi best food.
Lovely. One hobby that instantly brings you back to calm.
Yoga and meditation.
One mobile app that would completely disrupt your day if it vanished.
WhatsApp.
Your favorite travel destination, the one place that always resets your mind.
Vrindavan.
A song that lifts your mood the moment it starts playing.
रूप तेरा मस्ताना प्यार मेरा दीवाना.
Lovely. Your all time favorite sports person or team.
Sachin Tendulkar.
One bucket list item you're determined to kick off soon.
Becoming independent directors.
If your life were a book, what would the name be?
Beings and more.
Lovely. So that was a rapid fire round. Thank you so much. Now back to the slightly more serious questions. So, HR leaders often face ethical crossroads that never make it into policy documents, moments where a single decision can impact trust, culture, and even the organization's reputation. Across your years in industries where compliance, safety, and people practices are non negotiable, what is one governance or ethical moment that truly shook you and changed the way you look at leadership forever? And what can today's leaders learn from that kind of moment?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question. Normally, these policies, frameworks, rules, regulations are framed. They are framed within these four walls. They simply implemented and declared that yes, this is the way. But this, as per me, this is not the right way based on my experience, and I'm successful in that also. Whenever we used to frame policies, strategies, all these things, we first used to prepare a draft and then share with the people in two different groups, officers and staff, and then we take their views. We again rethink on this that whether we need to consider or not, and based on that, we do some fine tuning modifications. Again, we present them. Once they say, okay, go ahead. Then we took it to the board and then we get it approved from the board and then we implement. Then implementation is very easy. Basically, when it is a people's voice is there, ownership is there. And once you transfer the ownership, execution will be easy. So that is how we were successful throughout the journey. And that very important part you address is the governance part right now nowadays. It's very, very important, particularly with respect to ethics and values. And I'll not again give the big organization's name. When they called me for the interview and they asked me for my previous organization's documents, I upfront said no. So I thought they will simply reject me, but to my surprise, they said, yes, we love your decision and you are selected. Upfront, they offered me. But finally, I didn't join that organization because I didn't like the way in which they asked this question. So that's really very, very important. So governance part in today's situation is very
Yeah.
important. And
Yeah.
and if you maintain more transparency, if you involve them more, then definitely these today's generations, rather they will carry forward your flag that okay, go ahead.
Very well said, sir. So you've recently been associated with Directors Institute. We would love to know what made you feel right from the start that this is the right platform for your leadership journey, and how has the experience genuinely strengthened your governance mindset and board level readiness?
Because I have professional qualifications, I have a professional experience such a long, and I feel that now it is time to give back to the uh, community, industrial community, business community, that I can facilitate them so that at least many startups are also coming up. Big industries are they are expanding also. But uh, with respect to what you mentioned, governance part, process part, strategy part, implementation part, they are not aware of. So I will just facilitate them that yes, how they can set up their processes, how can they develop their businesses, how they can strategize, how they can implement, how they can execute, how they can do their brand mergers, acquisitions, and all other things, how they can manage their project in a systematic way. So that ultimately I can see profit is there. But again, as a responsible corporate citizens, we are equally responsible to the planet. And through people, we can serve the planet. So people, profit, planet. These three are the pillars for the sustainable organization growth.
Yeah, very true, sir. So thank you so much for this. This has been an incredibly enriching conversation. What stood out today is how you brought HR to life, not as a function, but as a philosophy built on trust, culture, ethics, and the courage to do the right thing when even no one is watching. The way you unpacked capability building, attrition, IR, learning, and governance through real stories were not just insightful, but it was deeply human, because you've shown us that HR is not just paperwork. HR is people. It's the engine that shapes behavior, builds leaders, and protects the soul of an organization. So, thank you so much for sharing nearly 3 decades of wisdom and experience with us. Thank you so much, sir. To everyone listening, I hope today's episode gave you more than just HR insights. I hope it gave you a reminder that no matter what industry you come from, culture, integrity, and people will always, always remain your strongest competitive advantage. This has been Tane All, and until next time, stay curious, keep learning, lead with integrity, and of course, always have fun in your journey. Thank you so much.
When I joined L&T initially, that time it was a barren land and we were